Have you ever gotten to a point in your relationship with God that you kind of thought things were going off the cliff a little bit? Have you ever felt like you were in a friendship where you felt like things could go off the cliff? Or a dating relationship? That's even more fun to talk about. It's fun to talk about how, that heartbreak can happen, man. You start out close and then all of a sudden you drift off. Well, maybe that's where you are in your walk with God. In the book of Exodus chapter 20, that's what God raised with Moses. He says, I'm really concerned about what's going to happen with these people. They really have a tendency to drift. And so because of that, I want to give you 10 commandments, 10 guidelines, 10 rules, 10 boundaries, 10 pieces of advice, 10 things to look forward to, whatever you want to call it. But here are the 10 things. We call them the 10 commandments in Exodus chapter 20. And in these 10 things, there is the first thing that's mentioned is on the top of the list. And the concern is our relationship with God. He said, if you want to know my first concern, listen to what he says, Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. And God spoke all these words, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Verse 3. You shall have no other gods, plural, before me. Now notice with me small g here, gods. I'm concerned that what's going to happen is once you get into the promised land, you're going to start worshiping other gods. There's going to be other priorities in your life, other people that are going to come in your life, other things that are going to get in front of me. And before you know it, your relationship with God will begin the big G God, right? The God with the small G's. The things like your job, your career, your love life, all the other little things that can get in the way. And in this culture, there were really other gods, small g. There were other things. They worshiped the sun, the moon, the sky. They worshiped a lot of things. And he says, I want to be first. And that's my concern, my relationship with you. So tell me something. How is your relationship with God going? He said, well, it's going pretty good. Going pretty good in our temple. I tell you what, I talk to him all the time. I do. Okay, well, talking is one thing, listening is another, right? And engaging and allowing him entry into your life. John chapter 4, a text we studied before in our Sharpen studies, it really talks about how relationship with God is more not about a place, as in the woman in Samaria thought, John chapter 4. The Samaritan woman thought it was about worshiping in Jerusalem or worshiping in Judea or worshiping in Samaria. He says, no. It's about spiritual worship, the attitude, the way you encounter God, that being open and transparent in your life. That's what God was concerned about, that the other gods and things would come into play. So now you say, well, Pastor, okay, so what should I do? Starts with being honest. Maybe a little prayer might be good. Maybe a little time of meditation might be good. Maybe a little reading the Bible might be good. Maybe a little bit of this might be good. Just every day, listen to the devotional. Say, God, I want to meet you at this devotional. Show me something in my life I need to consider. Maybe there's something I need to look at that I haven't looked at in a while. Maybe I've thought too much about my career, my life, my money, and there's nothing wrong with that. Can we pause and say, God's not saying, I want you to go around going, Jesus, God, God, all day. That's not what he's saying. As a matter of fact, people who do that are a little bit strange. That's not what he's saying. He's not saying fast 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, go to church 1,000 times a month. He didn't say that either. None of that proves you love God. What's going on in your life? Do you listen to him? Are you following his guidelines? Here's a good test. You ready? Look at your dating life. Is God involved in that or no? Do you lock the door when your boyfriend comes over and says, God, could you wait in the closet, please? And we'll talk to you a little bit later on tonight. Is that what you do? Are you the kind of person who preaches one thing but lives another? See, your relationship with God is manifested in your fruit. Jesus said, you shall know them by their fruit. It's what you do. It's the things you say. It's the way you behave, your temper, your attitude, the way you show love. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Do you love people? Are you a loving God? Are you a loving person? I did say God, didn't it? You're not a God. Let's get this right. I'm getting excited here. Are you a loving person? I stand corrected. If you're not careful, you'll think you're a God, though. As a matter of fact, that's important to say, too. Because if you're not careful, you become your own God. You become the God to yourself, and you forget the living God. So, how's your relationship with God going? Let me pray for you, because maybe that's a starting place. Father, today, we come acknowledging our need for you and our need to change our direction, our need to see ourselves, our need to grow, our need to evolve, our need to not allow things to dominate our lives. And so we ask you today to become the Lord of our life. If you've not been invited there, we invite you there today. May you be God in our life, the big G, not the little g, in Jesus' name. My name is Pastor Ricky Temple. I've enjoyed being with you today. I want you to stay sharp, stay confident, and serve the living God. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.